In the media, we see a lot of reports about how the union did not accept the contract offer, and we see a lot of commentary about how the contract offer was not that bad and that we should have just taken it, and then we'd all have jobs still. Well, I don't think those people understand what the contract actually included. There's all kinds of myth out there about what the company offered us, and they say all these wonderful things that sound so wonderful, like 25% ownership and $100 million in third-tier debt and all that. What people need to understand is the company has owed us money before in the union and went to a judge and had that money waived, made it so that we didn't get anything. So why would we believe that we're going to get $100 million out of these people down the road in the future when the unicorns come in and they make all this profit? I just don't believe that that's how it's going to work. And if they were to file for bankruptcy, third-tier debt would be thrown out the window instantly, and there would be nothing to show for our contract signing. The media is heavily focused on that kind of detail as far as what the company has offered us, but they don't really discuss the things the company asked for from us. For instance, you hear about the 8% pay cut in year one. They conveniently forget that that's 27% over 5 years. I'm tired of hearing about how it's only 8% in 1 year. It is 27% over 5 years, and that's a big number. It would take my hourly rate, which is currently $16.12 an hour, and it would drop it to $11.26. Personally, I think that that would destroy my life. And can I find a job that pays $11.26? Yes, I can. So when people say that we should have just kept the job and gone with the contract and looked for a job afterwards, no, I shouldn't. I should defend the job I have, because what they've offered us is an insult to anyone who's ever had to work in a bakery. I mean, the working conditions there are dramatic. I mean, the heat is intense. You have two giant ovens going at all times. In the summertime especially, it can be 140 degrees sometimes in there. That's not an exaggeration. People don't understand how hot it is in a bakery when the ovens can hold literally thousands of loaves of bread at one time. I mean, these are big ovens. And we move, thousands of pounds of ingredients and product all day long. And, the reality is that there's a lot involved with the federal regulations of mass producing food. It's just not a simple job that everyone thinks it is. It's a lot of work. And this company thinks that they can pay $11.26 an hour to have people do those jobs. Frankly, I think that if they actually had that, they would destroy the product. I don't think that you would have a quality Wonder Bread product. You would not have anything close to what you have had prior to this. They would really, really wrench down the quality if they went to $11.26 an hour, because you're not going to have any veterans, seasoned, experienced bakers stay in that environment because the work is so hard.
Certain zones on the oven wouldn't get the temperature to cook the bread. And if you didn't get the temperature up to a certain degree, by you putting product in the oven would bring the oven temperature down so the bread wouldn't cook like it should, and it brings on mold. And the life chef expectancy would be less than what it should have been, but all that was finger pointed at employees as far as things being done.
It's heavy, it's physical heavy, and they respect you to do that job with little equipment, because we don't got no equipment. They don't even buy vacuum, brushes, everything kind of like do it by hand, You gotta find ways to do it, because sometimes we don't even have a little filter for the flour, the vacuum, with the vacuum, a lot of stuff like that.
They need parts on it, like the oven belts and the chains on the oven and the takeout bar, and it's just that they haven't put anything into bread wrapping as far as repairing the machine. For instance, they bought one machine, but the machine that they bought was supposed to be a new machine, but it ran worse than the old machines.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they was really even thinking about the fact that they needed to do certain things to the place, but it was just stuff in their pockets and feeding Wall Street.
What offends me the most is the fact that we give a lot back out of the last bankruptcy, only to see it all be wasted away. No reinvestment back in the shops, no new equipment, no nothing.
Now that was a promise they made, right? That was part of the deal, right?
That's part of the contract that we signed with them. That's what they also made the same promises to the bankruptcy courts.
This time?
The last time when they come out of it. and none of that held true.
The only difference I see is money come out of my check. But besides that, I see the big men's get a big bonus. It's only different I see.
Yeah.
I mean, for no improvement, no nothing.
Well, the main thing that kind of bothered me as far as working with the company is the way the CEOs went and gave themselves a raise bonus and increase, and then they filed bankruptcy and laid all the blame on production and the labor costs. And I feel like if they was going to do something like that, at least put it on the fact of spending money on the equipment that we was working with, because a lot of the equipment was breaking down and it needed repairs, and the money that they stuck in their pocket should have been the money that they should have put on investing into the company.
Wonder Bread Hostess is basically a piece of paper. If it's not the employees, then what is Hostess? It's certainly not Monarch and Silver Point, who own that piece of paper that says Hostess on it. They certainly don't have any love and respect for that piece of paper that says Hostess on it. Certainly not like what the employees have and what I've seen over the course of my 14 years there. And for them to destroy it, for the company to do that to these employees and then go to the media and make it sound like we wouldn't negotiate with them. I mean, as far as that's concerned, people need to remember that the company would not negotiate with us, okay? It's not that we wouldn't negotiate with the company, it's that the company knew that what they were going to offer us was ridiculous, so they went to a bankruptcy judge and they asked for the judge to impose the contract. They did not come to us and say, let's negotiate a contract. That day never happened. They simply went to the judge and got it imposed on us. And it's true that after the judge gave them permission to impose it on us, that we voted on it, we voted it down, and then we voted that if the company actually went so far as to impose it on us, then we would go ahead and walk. The company at that point could have sold us. They didn't have to close the doors, but they did, and part of that strategy was blaming the union for that, so it makes it easier for them to strip the union from the brand names during the sale. Do you feel that the court has been fair, or do you feel like overall they just are focused on one side?
I think they're focused on Hostess, period. Don't seem to have any consideration whatsoever for the employees.
Okay.
Everything they've done, they ruled against us on. And as you know, they turn around and give the top execs $1.8 million. We got people sitting out there, the 3 shops we have in the local, what they owe our members is a little over $7 million.
Wow.
I mean, you look at severance, vacation, everything else is there, and that's just all, we'll be doing good to get 20 cents on the dollar. I've been doing this for a long time. And we have, yeah. And the way what they're doing, they had us back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Wow. Okay.
When you look at wages and benefits.
That's something that I can never get past. Is I think about how much we make now, and I compare it to what I made in the 90s when I was, going around knocking on doors trying to do people's yard work.
Right.
And it's amazing how much closer to that this is now than it used to be.
Yeah.
It used to not even be close. Now it's right there.
Let's just keep putting on the back of the workers. Wall Street and hedge funds, they make money hand over fist, and all comes off our backs.
These hedge funds got control, and they didn't care that you have to reinvest in your infrastructure over time, because their goal was never to create a high quality product and sell it for a profit. The goal was, from day one, how do you strip the unions from these brands and then sell the brands without the legacy costs?
I'm just glad that everything's kind of looking on the brighter side of stuff. I just wish that they would have not lied to everybody about how they were going to do this. They kept on telling everybody that they weren't going to do this, but then they just lied to us and let us on. And I just wish they would just been up front with everybody. Because if we would have took a pay cut, they were still going to liquidate the company regardless. Just if they would have been up front with us and just said, okay, yeah, we're going to do this, fine, do it, and just let everybody move on. Now, everybody's able to move on.
I hope in reality that everything goes well for everybody involved, and I wish everybody the best.
How do you feel about this, the rapid response team and all
Well,
that?
the rapid response team, I think they're giving everybody information that they need to move forward in their lives and everything, and I was glad something like this was available for most of us people that just got laid off or lost their jobs, and so far, so good.
What I really want people to understand is that the media's portrayal of this has been terrible. They have simply not portrayed the facts in an accurate way. They got their company press release and they ran with it and never checked with the union or other people who were involved as to the actual storyline or events. The media has just simply repeated what the company said note for note, and millions of people believe that the bakers caused this company to close and to liquidate, and that's simply inaccurate, and the media has done a terrible job of correcting that myth. And I guess what I would ask of you is that if you see something in the media where it doesn't represent the bakers' actual side of the story, then please just send them a polite email and tell them that you know there's more to the story than what they have told you. I have found that works. The media will respond, and sometimes they will even change the way they talk about something, and sometimes they'll even include actual facts about the event. So I would suggest that if you see something that doesn't seem accurate, tell them, and that's the best way to get the word out on behalf of Hostess workers. All right, thank you.
You will eat by and by, in that glorious land in the sky. Work and pray, live on hay, you'll get by in the sky when you die. That's the life. Working folks of all countries unite. Side by side we for freedom shall fight.